Kenyan employees will have to wait for a few days for negotiations for a salary increment. This is according to Labour Cabinet Secretary Ukur, Yattani, who said the announcement on salary increment will be communicated soon. This year's Labour Day comes on the backdrop of the controversial 1.5% housing levy, which Cotu has supported on condition after several months of opposition.
For most Kenyans, Labour Day is more of a salary increment day other than a public holiday. Kenyans filled the 60,000 Uhuru Park, but today's celebration saw a handful of Kenyans attend the function. More than 17 million employees who are optimistic of a salary increment are going to bed sad. This is because the government, through the Cabinet Secretary for Labour, has promised to increase the salaries after negotiations. This is despite statistics indicating that more than 74% of people earn less than 50,000 shillings.
We are still in the process of negotiating at the wages and wages councils between the employers and the employees, so that a negotiation on whether there's going to be a wage increase, I think we are going to discuss later in the course of the week.
This year's Labour Day comes in the backdrop of the controversial 1.5% housing levy, which Cotu had supported after several months of opposition. A move that has received backlash from the controversial NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion, who claimed that the government is on a mission to make Kenyans stagnant economically.
And on the housing scheme, the 1.5% levy, the condition that the workers of this country, na isikike, ni kwamba for CBAs, collective bargaining agreements, before the employers implement, we must review the CBAs to compensate any deduction, short of which hatutakubali. But once that is done, we will be willing to support the housing. Before it is done, we shall not support. That is a spirit of give and take.
His sentiments were echoed by Kenyans who stated that the employers should not adhere to the House Levy Directive.
Serikali leo haijatufurahisha. Hakuna kitu ambacho wametuongeza. Kwa hivyo hiyo mambo ya nyumba wanasema hatutaki kuongezwa sisi kama wananchi. Kama hawajatuongeza wasitukate chochote kwa payslip zetu.
We are living here empty-handed. And if we have not been added something in our payslips, or if our employers have not been instructed to add us something in our payslips, how do you expect to deduct this housing levy?
Wanafanya kazi kwa makampuni, ifaa waongeze pesa.
With Kenyans crying foul left, right and center over lack of salary increment, it remains to be seen if the government will adhere to its 1 week's promise. Anna Masharia, KUTV, Nairobi.